We are talking about Ginger Hubbard's Don't Make Me Count to Three, a chapter by chapter analysis. This is chapter 1, The High Calling of Motherhood. A couple things in here jumped out at me. First, the spiritual authority of nouthetic counseling pops up on page 22. Good news, Mom. God's word is full of instructions for you. Let us explore those instructions together. So throughout, there's little bits like this to remind the reader that if you're reading this, you are reading God's instructions to you. Ginger also writes with kind of a, you see this in the reviews, people mention a kind of relatable humor. I want to point it out here because sometimes, especially in a resource on discipline, this has that effect that we see in a lot of Christian parenting resources where adults are effectively laughing at children in vulnerable moments, in their discipline moments, in their disobedience moments, in their sin moments. The first depiction we see of children, they are depicted in positive ways. She talks very positively about her vocation as a mother. So there's some positive depictions mixed with the humorous depictions. On page 22, we get some prosperity gospel promise. She's talking about God's word never returning void and says, this means that as you learn to apply God's word in training your children, you'll eventually begin to see the fruit. You will witness success in your parenting. Prosperity gospel parenting promises come with a dose of shame because if you're not having success, the problem must be you, not trying hard enough, not praying hard enough, not applying hard enough, or your child. You have a particularly rebellious, a particularly sinful child. The first chapter closes with this kind of interesting note. Ginger recounts a story from her childhood where she got a karaoke machine and labels it the sin of pride, that she liked to watch herself sing, and suggests that God humbled her later on by not giving her a good singing voice. And this is offered as a humorous, it's again that mix of self-deprecating humor, note to parents to not get too proud of the success they will inevitably have with this parenting approach, because God will humble them, probably in a way that will shame them. And as I've noted before, this is an example of the kind of stowaway doctrines about God that are presented in parenting resources. Like readers are told something about what God is like, mixed in on these parenting how-tos, and the same framework by which parents are to parent their children will be how authors are, in a sense, parenting readers.